Something is changing, and it's not happening on the surface. It's not about politics, and it's not about economics. It's something deeper than that. Some people are moving closer to technology. Meanwhile, some people are turning their backs to technology. And we are no longer moving in the same direction. For a long time, we believed in one shared future for humanity. And technology would bring us together. It would make us more similar and more connected to each other. But that's not what's happening now. What we are seeing now could be described as a split. Not in opinion necessarily, nor in ideology, but rather on how people choose to exist, how they choose to live their lives. And on one side, we could say that people are the integrated humans, we could call them. A person who leans into technology. And they optimize everything. They use AI on a daily basis. And they partially live in the digital space. They call it life itself. But identity becomes fluid. And location slowly becomes irrelevant. Life becomes efficient. And on the other side, we have what we could call the grounded human. And someone who chooses to stay close to the physical world. In a world where the body matters and place and location matters. Reality is something you engage with directly. And not everything is optimized, and that's just fine. Some things are intentionally hard for these people. And the important thing is that these are just not preferences. These are different life strategies all together. And technology does one thing extremely well. It removes friction. It makes life faster. It makes life easier and smoother. But there's a problem with all of this. Human beings are shaped by friction. I've talked about this many times here. And strength comes from resistance, just like here. And clarity comes from limits. And identity comes from what you have overcome in life. If you remove friction in its entirety, you end up with exactly what? What are we becoming without this friction in life? And in the North, this wasn't an abstract idea. It was cold. It was pretty much darkness, at least half of the year. And seasons were something you couldn't negotiate away from. It was just a fact of life. And you didn't remove friction. you survived the friction. And in doing so, you became something that got shaped by this very friction. And this is where it kind of gets interesting, I would say. Both paths, nevertheless, if you choose the technological path or the grounded path, you will do so with a cost. And you gain capability, but you lose your grounding by choosing the technological path. And you can become more than ever in terms of productivity, but you become less anchored with choosing this path, and you become slowly disconnected from what we now recall as the real world. And the grounded path risks something else. You stay rooted, but at the same time you fall behind, or at least you feel like you fall behind. The world will continue to accelerate, but you will refuse to follow, meaning that the gap will increase by the day, by the hour, by the minute. And this is by no means a simple question, and there's no clean answer to which path to choose here. But I don't think this is about choosing a side necessarily. It's about understanding who you are becoming. And because whether you think about this or not, you're already moving in one of these two directions. And over time, the direction you choose will change everything in your life. How you think, how you live, and what you value in life. And there's an old image in the North Pantheon. An image that you can see in the logo of Tyrdom, the channel you're on here and now. It's a great tree. And the tree has a big crown that is reaching upward. But it has an equally big root system, a structure that holds everything together. The crown that is reaching for the improvement and the divine, and the roots that are clinging on to the natural life, the ancestors, and are the people who lived before us and their wisdoms. And the tree survives because it's anchored to something. And maybe that's where we are now. Reaching higher than ever before, arguably. Building faster than ever before. But slowly testing how far we can stretch up into the divine before we lose the ground beneath us. Because a tree that grows too far from its roots doesn't become more advanced. It becomes more unstable. Okay, folks. If you watched this far, thank you so much. And consider liking, commenting and all that jazz if you like this. And also consider subscribing. It would help the channel greatly. Okay, have a good one, folks. Talk to you later. Tyrdom out.